Hello, this is Titania from the Fairies Garden, and I'm here to present our latest collection of journals. So I call these the Marauders concept journals because each one is based on one of the Marauders, and you can kind of tell which one is which generally. So this collection is something that we've been working on for a while now, so that's why we've been kind of offline from the past month. Even though we did post a new DigiKit, which showed, basically letting you guys know that that we have the Marauders in store. So I'm just gonna show you each one as it was completed. The first one would be, let me just put this to the side. So to start off with, this is James Potter's journal. It's a concept journal, but it's based on James Potter. I can show you guys the spine. Am I in frame? And I did this kind of like beading with strings. The potion bottle is a part of all the journals, so it just connects them together. And in the front we have an acetate cover so that you can actually place photos in. The one we have now is temporary, which you can change out, but I really like the deer and stag imagery. And the cover is made from this faux leather tutorial. So, and it's sealed in with Mod Podge, so it does have a bit of a specific texture, you could say. From the side, the top, the back, and the bottom. So moving on, as we open it. As you can see, this is what I said. You can actually remove the front and replace it with any other photo. Actually, we have a photo here. I'll just show you now. I found this really handsome vintage photo of a man, and I just photoshopped glasses on there so that I like to think this is like James's formal photo or whatever. Looks very serious. But I'm not serious, you're serious. And you can actually put his photo in here if you really want to keep the theme of James Potter's journal. But personally, just me, I like the stag a bit better. I attached like a little tab on it too, so you can remove it easier. So I have like an Ex Libris nameplate, so whoever gets this journal can write in their name, or if they wanted to, write in James Potter's name. This is like gonna be found in all the journals. Starting with the first signature, we have like a little letter. There's nothing in it. You can put whatever you want. And it's just secured with a paper clip. We have this quote. So all the journals, they have quotes from the characters or other characters talking about this specific character interspersed throughout. This one has a quote attached by a little rivet. And I think it looks very cool. You can swivel it around. I just hid that with some collaging. So this piece of string is actually attached because of the potion bottle, so you can kind of use it as a marker. Oops, there we go. Going on, we have a bit of like collaging pockets, Hogwarts Library tag, and another tag. Some more beautiful vintage deer imagery. Of course, it's not complete without a Marauder's map. It's attached to the page so you can see it. It's not the full version, it's just like a mini that I found. And over here, we got the little pocket with another quote and some back collaging. And this is where I kept the photo of James Potter and a little card with lilies. Get it? Put that back in. Got some digi-stamping of a lily. So I found a lot of the digi-stamp images from the Graphics Fairy or the old design shop. That's more little collaging with a small pocket with a tag with James Potter's name. This dictionary page has the definition for a stag, so I added that in. There's a small little envelope right here. It's like small pieces, scrap pieces of paper. Tuck that in. The pages are kind of shabby looking, but I kind of like that look. Here we've got a collageable card you can use. It's actually a sticker, so if you peel off the backing, whoever uses this can use it for their collage uses. The next signature, we have Gryffindor Quidditch, because we know he was on the Quidditch team. Another quote, sewing, and some gold washi, since, yeah, Gryffindor and like the red thread. Tried to keep that in line. Oh, here's another paper. It's actually attached to the page, but to keep this part closed, I paper clipped it. So you can actually pull it out, and it's just a page from the Daily Prophet. You have a very large pocket in here that just has a cute little poem of, I'm not sure who it's from, but it's the Passion Flower. More flower motifs because of Lily, right? Lily Evans. Some glitter red washi. Here's a photo of the Potter house before the event, the incident, like when it was still whole. Paper clip that back on. And here, I did something, I don't know, weird. Just like a little fold out. And there's another lily, a red one. You can fold it out too. There's a lot of fold outs. And this final signature, we have like a little nameplate, a collage nameplate with a stag underneath. Another quote, but this time to Harry instead of, it's about James, but it's a quote to Harry. And here's a little photo of a baby Harry. I got another quote right here. And I found this wonderful photo of a red-haired woman, and I thought, oh my god, doesn't this super look like Lily with a baby Harry in her arms? And her clothes are kind of like what you'd expect from someone from like the 80s or 90s would wear. More collaging with a doe, right? A female deer. And here we've got a letter just for Lily Evans from James. It's quite a thick letter since it was a lot that I had to, but I didn't want to make it super small. Anyway, it's a very long letter from James. Moving on, got a little tea card, a faux tea card with a stag beetle. attached. I made a little tab from another Ex Libris nameplate. Here we've got some collaging. So these journals are a bit on the darker side. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but there are people who like that kind of thing, especially within the Wizarding World fandom. So I made these journals to kind of reflect the Marauders, and that includes their untimely ends. So yes, there are pieces from their life, and there will obviously be pieces from their death. So here we have a little collaging with the Dark Mark, Betrayal, and I just printed this green kind of marbling, black and green marbling on tracing paper, and I think it creates this really nice effect. And basically green for the killing curse. You can kind of assume what happens then, right? So before I turn the next page, if you're queasy with blood, or I don't use real blood obviously, but if the sight of even faux blood kind of turns you off, just skip. So on this page we have James's last words on the background of the green, and I think like this green stripe right here really looks like the killing curse going off. And of course we all know how he died, how James died, and here's the aftermath of that night. And on the back page, the final, like not the page but the back cover, is essentially what Hagrid is saying, like what he said happened all those years ago, and it's just kind of like a conclusion piece that I think really finishes James Potter's story. So that's James. Next we have Remus Lupin's. So his design, I kind of wanted it to look very, I used a fabric cover since I wanted to create these like rips in the fabric that kind of like claw marks just kind of tore through it. And I like this like imagery of a sunrise, because after a full moon there's always a next dawn. And I use this type of closure where it's just jute twine and of course the potion bottle with beads inside, and I think it gives it a very rustic look. So once you unravel that, it's actually attached to the book, so you'll need to put the closure aside to open it. So I'll just bring this up. As you open it, you met with a vintage moon calendar, since it would be very important for a werewolf to have this. And of course a Hogwarts library card. And there's only one entry, RL, for Remus. And I'm kind of using that as like sort of a nameplate for him. But he does have his name right here. There's a lot of book pages here, since I thought, you know, he ended up being a teacher, so he must have like academics somewhat, right? So book 1, aka the first signature. We got some more like lunar calendars here. More quotes. This one's like a little mini belly band. And of course he taught data, so I put like in a faux book in here for him. More quotes. And here is a pocket that I made, and here's a mini, the Marauders map that's included with this journal. It's tucked away in this pocket. And now chapter 2, the second signature. This one I really like this quote. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. And I like to think that, you know, Even though the Marauders are gone, the Golden Trio came, so there's always going to be a hero of every generation. I think that's very important. So here, I used my Beasts, etc. digikit in this one as well, since of course the werewolf little card that's included with it. And yeah, all the quotes here you can find in the Marauder Maxims digikit as well. This one holds like a little card with a shooting star and this vintage photo of a man that if you can look closely, there is claw marks that I photoshopped on his face. So this is supposed to be my interpretation of Remus. Got some little poems, a Halloween frolic, and of course another Dark Arts Defense book in the middle of the signature. A very, very long quote. Another piece from my Beasts, etc. digikit. And if you haven't noticed, there are tabs around here that whoever gets this journal can write whatever they want. And here's just a photo, vintage photo. So Remus and Tonks do have a son named Teddy, so I want to include that because that is a part of his life too, by using this like children's book cover image that I found of these teddy bears. More quotes. If you can see closely, I accidentally ripped this piece of paper, but that's okay, that's fine. I think you can still glue it on since it's still legible. And I think this like kind of broken piece looks really cool. And in this photo I really want to show off because it kind of looks like Tonks and Remus, right? I think it's very sweet. And another photo here, Beauty and the Beast, because that's how Remus really felt like when he was with Tonks. And this little mini folder from my digikit again is just a secondary image, and in here we have a dictionary page with the word werewolf right here, all the way at the bottom. Let's put that back in here and clip it back. I like to have the tab of the folder sticking out, so when you actually close the pages, you can see it. Oh, this was attached to the back as well. It's another moon calendar thing. And this is the back of that teddy bear book. And it just says, 3 wise bears of Gotham went to sea in a bowl. If the bowl had been stronger, my story had been longer. I think that's very, I don't know, relatable. Had Remus and Tonks lived, maybe Teddy's life would have been different. His story would have been different. But anyway, moving on. This kind of like atlas plate image has the Leo star cluster. So I thought that would be very indicative of Remus's Gryffindor pride. And here's a photo of Hogwarts, of course. Just put that back in. Another little mini pocket. This one has like a wolf, and it says down here, a guilty conscience. Another one of those like illustrative cards. Little tab that I made from my faux leather piece. And the final signature, and I really like the title of this, All the Rivers Run into the Sea. Another tab. It's an insert from the Daily Prophet. He who must not be named returns. I ripped this page intentionally to kind of look like someone chewed it off. Maybe it looks a little too comical with how perfectly ragged the edges are, but that's what I did. I made this pocket out of a card from my DigiKit. And here we have another quote. Tuck that back in. And of course, the last few pages. So these were Tonks's last words, not Remus. And I think that is a lot more meaningful in the whole scheme of things rather than finding Remus's last words, since, you know, they died together. Again, if you have an aversion to any semblance of blood, skip the next 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So here's that bit of blood and the final quote of Tonks and Remus, and I think their hands almost holding each other is very heartbreaking. And that's their final page. And here's the Ex Libris on the bottom. So to tie it back up, you just wrap the twine, the jute cord twice. And then just tuck in the loose end. Yeah. The spine's very plain. Here's here from the top, the side, and the bottom. So here is Sirius Black's journal. Since he is from the most noble and ancient house of Black, I wanted to make his journal look kind of what someone of his, you know, family would own. So it's very fancy. I actually tried to gold foil with this stamp that I had. And it's actually, the base is made from a soft cardboard, but I added the chipboard right on top. So it's actually a hard cover. Protected the corners with some brass covers. The spine is very plain. Oh, and if you can see from the corners here, there's a bit of gold as well. Now the fun part is this detachable charm that I made. If you haven't noticed, this type of fabric is the same. It's basically offcuts from Remus's book cover, and I thought, you know, you want to keep a ongoing motif going around. So I have the same fabric and also the same potion bottle. This one also has this charm that I made. And I think it makes the spine look a little more interesting, and the book in general look more interesting. It's like, oh, this fancy schmancy book, and then it has like this kind of boho looking tassel on it, which I think is very reflective of Sirius, though he came from a very fancy household. He never really felt like a part of it. So opening it, you have this beautiful like gold marbled paper, and of course the Ex Libris nameplate. We start off with this page of like a digi-stamped wolf and child and a quote. This one has like some minor tags as well, tabs on the side of the pages. And here is Sirius's photo. This one's like a little postcard with his name on it, Sirius Black. And so I didn't need to Photoshop or anything, because look at him. Isn't he like the perfect Sirius Black? Kind of like that rugged, dark, and handsome look. That's amazing. Sheet music. We got like a few vouchers for the Durmstrang Institute. We got a journaling card, small envelope from Remus Lupin. Wonder what he could say. Absolutely nothing. Whoever gets this journal, feel free to write whatever you want, and you can pretend it's from Remus. Whatever you want. Since he's from the Black family, I thought it'd be nice to make some collages where we had the Black family tree just cut up in pieces because it's kind of broken, right? By the time the Harry Potter's generation ends, the Black family is just very much in pieces. We got a tab made from the Gryffindor logo. Got like a small pocket here, and it just has, have you seen this wizard with movie Sirius Black? It looks very haggard. We have some tracing paper. I think creates this nice effect on the page after it with a quote and digi-stamping. And of course we have some photographs of motorcycles, since we know Sirius was a bike enthusiast. Quote. Oh, of course, another collage piece. It's another sticker, so feel free to just use it for whatever. Or just leave it in. Up to you. Another collage of the Black family tree. And here we've got like this mini tuck spot that holds a photo of that same tall, dark, and handsome man with his friend, who I like to think is like James, but he's magically not wearing glasses. Maybe he has like some muggle contacts on. I think they look very spiffy. Tuck that back in. So we have another belly band quote with a journaling card. Some more gold washi, of course. Oh, this isn't a pocket at all. It's just sewed on. It looks pretty cool. And the sewing is on the back. Another have you seen this wizard? But it's empty, so you can place your photo straight onto there. And of course, we have this like vintage photo of two prisoners, since we all know of Sirius's stint in Azkaban, right? You can see here, there's Sirius Black's prisoner number. And it's just attached to this like folded book page pocket that I made. I made some collaging with a bike, of course. Oh, and I made this trifold tag with a little Red Riding Hood, an enemy in disguise. But is he an enemy? Who knows? And it's just 3 tags attached together. Got some small tags here. The map. This one is like a piece of the faux leather that I made. And just like, you can stick in wherever you want. I think it looks very cool. More Black family tree on craft paper. A tab. Oh, and there's like, of course, pages from the Daily Prophet. Red washi. Here is a dictionary page with the definition for motorcycle and like a vintage photo illustration of a boy on a bike. Because that's all Sirius was back in his days in Hogwarts, right? There's a boy on a bike. His bike. before things all went crazy. More quotes and some journaling cards. Black family tree. Another little pocket that I made with, it's like unfortunately cut piece of another bike boy, and a photo of Azkaban. Another quote. Here's a fold out from the Daily Prophet that actually tells you about Sirius's breakout from Azkaban, because it says right here there's a 10,000 galleon bounty on Black's head. Huh. So here's some collaging that I've made. So blood advisory, skip the next 30 seconds. Sorry guys, seems the paint wasn't fully dry. That's okay, a bit of transfer, it's fine. One more quote from Sirius Black and some collaging. And of course his last words. So I put this photo of an archway in the back, since it kind of looks like, you know, the arch of the veil. And that was Sirius Black's journal. And now, finally, I know he doesn't have as many fans. In fact, he probably has more haters than fans. Is Peter Pettigrew's journal, Wormtail. So his one is inspired by kind of like this raggedy looking, I don't know, raggedy flour sack kind of concept in my head. And of course he still has a potion bottle, but yeah, I've just sewn on the fabric cover, just like colored pieces of fabric that I dyed myself. Used some embroidery thread, sewed on some buttons, if you can see that. Sewed on this card with a rat on there. I was thinking of making it a bit more grungy, but I didn't want it so dark. So it's still, even if, you know, it doesn't say Peter Pettigrew on it, someone from far away would think, oh, what a cute book. So you can kind of hide your intentions that way if you wanted to. This one has like the most amount of loose strings just sticking out. So again, I just wanted a very raggedy look to it. So when you open the page, you're greeted with the Ex Libris nameplate, Peter's name right there with a pocket, and of course the man himself, except this was him back in Hogwarts. I know he's not a very sympathetic character at all. I'd really recommend watching this short fan film called Severus Snape and the Marauders. I'll probably leave a link down below for you guys to watch it. I think how they portray, since it's a film set during the Marauders' time, right before the war, and of course Severus is the main character. I think after watching it, you tend to you'll find that Peter isn't as a unlikable character as you think he was. I think the film did a great job in just humanizing him a little, and you know, kind of showed how someone like Peter could have befriended the Marauders and been a part of the Marauders, Wormtail, and have been, you know, trusted with being a secret keeper for the Potters. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, how did, you know, he become a Marauder? He's a coward. He's disloyal. He's a betrayer. But I think that film did a great job in just kind of characterizing him in a more humanizing way. So with the whole spiel over, let's get back into the journal. So this isn't a blood advisory, but if you don't like dead animals, I'm sorry again, but I did say that this is a more darker themed journal. So skip the next 20 seconds because I'm gonna show it now. Boom, we've got a dead rat, which is just like a faux pocket. You can like tuck something in here too. Whoever gets this, feel free to like rip it off, glue it completely down if you don't want it. This is a concept journal, so it's not just my concept. It can be your concept as well. Another quote belly band with a photo of Hogwarts. I didn't put it all the way through since I kind of like the look of the castle just peeking out. I found a book page with about mice on there. I sewed this tag in, which looks very, very cool, just sticking out there. And interspersed I have like a small words. Like here we have friendship because, you know, as a boy, like him, he would probably really value friendship and have a lot of wonder. But you know, circumstances change people, kind of bring out the worst in them. Digi stamping. We've got a big pocket here that just has like a little nameplate on a book page. We got a little tag pocket here, so it has room for 3 sizes of tags. I just have one in here. Really cute. Digi stamping. Another word, loyalty, which, you know, with Peter, a wasted effort. Unfortunately. We've got a lot of dictionaries, so all the dictionary pages are here for a reason. Fear. So I wanted this dictionary page in since it has the definition for fear, since he was a very fearful, cowardly person. So sorry about the noise. People are just blasting music. I'm glad they're happy. I've got some more rat imagery. Here's like a very shady looking alleyway. It's no nocturne alley, but quite shady looking. And got pocket. Got quote on some tracing paper. This is a quote from JK actually. So not from the book, but she mentioned Peter, so I put it in my pocket. I think this imagery is quite cute. It's like 3 mice. 3 blind mice? Who knows? A pocket from a card, a mice card here. I've got a dictionary page and I kind of blocked out some letters so that you can focus on this definition and specifically rat. A person, and not like the animal rat, but a person who betrays associates, which I thought was so fitting. Like, wow, a rat. He really is a rat. Here's some collaging with a worm. Hopefully this doesn't gross people out. And another dark alleyway. Peter probably, you know, likes to scurry around those as his time as Scabbers. More quotes, but this one's from Severus. This is from my DigiKit, Beast, etc. It's just the snakes sewed in with a signature. More rat imagery. This one's kind of like fighting with a worm, which I thought was cute. 2 associates. Who knows? I thought it looked very cool. A bat. Oh, this is very cool. So this page, it's like tucked in, but you can fold it out, and it's just like the tail end of a snake. And I printed some Dementors on tracing paper, which I think looks very, very cool as well. I made a side pocket with more of that faux leather that I made, and a mushroom journaling card. Another flip quote. I'll just call them flip quotes since you can just flip them. Here's the other half of that snake page with their heads. So this isn't like an ephemera piece, it's actually a tab, so you can pull this out and it has his name, Scabbers, just sewed on. Right here we have like a bit of a collage with a flip quote. Here we have the word betrayal, if you can't be any more direct about it. Another quote, it's just like a scrap piece of a bit of water damage as well, of Sirius's like a book page, paper, again shared motifs throughout all of them, because no matter what happened in all their lives, they're still the Marauders, right? They can't get away from that. So this collage piece has the word fear on it. There's like a bunch of locusts flying around, and it's like a 2-layered tuck spot, since behind this page you can tuck something in, which is the Weasley's burrow. And behind this this little piece right here is an image of a rat. I like to think this is like Scabbers. Just tuck that back in. And here we have a dictionary page. Again, I blocked out the letters for easier findings, and it has the word betray, right? The definition of betray, I mean. A little flip tag instead of a quote. And here we have the word self-preservation. Since if you really want to paint Peter in the most sympathetic light, you could say that everything he's ever done was for self-preservation, right? And maybe like dealing with the dark wizards has just made him more evil along the way. So again, blood advisory, skip the next 30 seconds. So he didn't, I didn't put in his last word since it wasn't really, I don't know, relevant to this, right? So just like left a page that shows his death, and the quote on the back is just what I think is much more fitting than his last words were. And that is Peter Pettigrew's journal. So this was Wormtail, Padfoot, Mooney, and Prongs. So this 4-part collection was very experimental. As you can see, each one is really different from the other. We tried out a lot of different things, like this beading on the side was really different. We used like thread through there. This closure was really different. The gold foiling was very different. This fabric collage was very different. So these journals really a work of labor and love, because I love the Marauders as well. I'm sure like I can relate. I'm sure a lot of other Wizarding fans can relate that they wish that there'd be more content, whether like even if it's just like a short novel or a short like clip about the Marauders. I think that would be amazing if JK and her team could do that. But anyways, beyond that, I just wanted to share what I've been working on. These will be on Etsy. Check the link, or the Fairy's Garden at Etsy, the link below for availability. I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye. See you in the next installment.